Welcome back. Spying, James Bond, gadgets, M&Q. Espionage must be a fascinating business, unless of course you're the target. So it's worth knowing some of the techniques and the kits that help spies spy. Anyone who's lost their mobile phone in their bag or down the back of a sofa will know how easy it is to hide stuff about the place. Well, today I'm off to a spy shop in central London that sells technology for that very purpose. Its shelves are full of hidden cameras, phone jammers and bugs hidden in household objects. My mission, which I did choose to accept, was to meet up with Julia Wing and investigate the contents of her basement. What kind of customers actually come into this shop? I mean, I would imagine Daniel Craig doesn't rock up in his Aston Martin and take stuff off the shelf. I mean, who are the people that actually buy these things?
Yeah, I mean, our majority of customers are just businessmen and women who have problems with staff, you know, money's going missing or their competition is stealing information and they need to protect their investment.
What's the weirdest thing that you've ever been asked for?
Oh gosh, and I have been asked for a few odd things, but an elderly lady that came in once for a bulletproof vest, which was slightly odd, and as it happened, she wanted it because her garden backed onto a railway track, and as fast trains were coming past and she was doing her gardening, she was getting hit by shingle, so it was to protect her while she was gardening.
And we'll come back to Julia shortly. Now though, it's time to look at some of the stuff on sale here. This is apparently the world's smallest voice recorder. Never mind the video camera we've seen, this is even smaller, and this will record up to about 160 hours of voice, and the battery will last for about 60. This looks like a cigarette lighter, but underneath is a video camera lens. Similarly, this looks like an ordinary key fob, something you might attach your car keys to, but underneath is another video camera lens. Similarly, here's a pen. It's a real pen, it really does write, but it's also a video camera. The lens is just above the clip there. With this one, once you've finished doing your secret recording, you just unscrew the bottom and it's a normal USB flash drive. That's where the video is stored. Then you've got the watch, which is really a watch, but also has a video camera built in with 2 GB of memory. And finally, if ever you're sitting across the desk from someone and you decide you need a tissue, by all means take it, but watch out that the tissue box isn't actually a hidden camera as well. Now, rather interestingly, on this USB keyring, there is some keylogging software. The idea is you plug it into a computer and it automatically downloads the software onto the machine, at which point it's recording all the keystrokes that are typed into it. You come along later and you can retrieve them. I'm sure we've seen this sort of thing before. Now, recording voice and video is one thing, but you do have to go and pick up the device and take it away before you can watch what you've recorded. What if you want to listen in live? Well, that's been made a lot easier recently thanks to something that we all use when we're out and about, the mobile phone network. Now, this looks like an ordinary plug adapter, but it actually has a mobile phone SIM card inside and a microphone. If you dial the number of this SIM card, you'll be able to hear through your phone everything that's happening around the plug. This looks like a normal alarm clock. It behaves like a normal alarm clock, but it has a video camera in the speaker grill and a 3G SIM card inside. Make a video call to this SIM card and you'll be able to see everything that this can see. Keyloggers, bugs, hidden cameras, are these really legal to use? Back to Julia Wing.
Well, you know, it depends how these items are being used, but for instance, something like the keylogger you just pointed out, that was originally designed for parents to monitor their children. You know, when their teenage son's in a room for hours on end, they want to make sure he's communicating with people they're happy about him talking to, not in sort of chat rooms where he could get into trouble.
But it can also be used for a lot more, as we've seen on Click many times. You know, you can steal passwords and account numbers and any number of bits of personal information just by putting keylogging software on. I mean, surely that's a no-no. Surely you shouldn't be allowed to sell that.
Well, the problem is these things are all designed for to be used in very innocent ways, very innocent reasons, to protect you, to protect us, to know what's going on in your office when you're not there, to know maybe who's looking after your children and to make sure they're looking after them in the way you want them to. The problem in life is all these things can be taken away and misused, and no one has control of that, unfortunately.
But that is why you have gun licences, to take it to the extreme. So at least there's some element of an attempt to control.
Yes.
So shouldn't there be a licence for any of this? Shouldn't I need to prove that I really do need to use this?
No. I mean, for instance, if you were to use any of this equipment, cameras, listening devices, and you've stopped someone or you've caught someone or have video footage like we see on the television all the time of criminals being caught, surely that's a good thing. It's a good thing that you can find out. If you're an innocent person, you've got nothing to worry about with this equipment. It's only the people maybe that are up to no good that have a problem with this.
As far as you're concerned, when would it be okay and where would it be okay to use spying devices?
I would say the uses for video surveillance, for instance, to protect your home and your office and know what's going on, make sure...
So your premises?
Your premises. I think when it's used on someone else's premises, then that's where you've got that very sort of grey area.
Right, so there you go. Some things to think about if you either want to be a spy or you don't want to be spied upon. Right, time for me to go. I've got an important date with Q. Espionage and secret gathering. Now please don't try any of that at home. Try it in the office, it's much more fun. Right, now here's Kate Russell with another selection of sites that she's spied for us all in Webscape.
War is a tragic and inescapable fact of life. World leaders past and present would probably say it's a necessary evil. Historians, a fascination to be documented and analysed to provide vital clues as to what drives modern civilization. If you stand with the historians, try mapsofwar.com. Its creators are clearly fascinated by how various historical events linked to the act of war are connected. To show these connections, they've made a number of flash animation maps. There are a couple of examples on the opening page, but you can click Maps to get the full listing. I found it really interesting to see the way world events have played out, and it only took a couple of minutes. The maps are nicely made and really clear, even for the non-history buff. That would be me. As well as having its own selection of maps, if you click the link to the library section, you'll find links to many other maps of war from all over the web. The internet is a great educational tool. It's also an essential piece of modern communication, a source for news and current affairs. But arguably, the most important aspect of being online is gaming. GameNet.com is our destination right now, where you'll find enough funky and freaky little flash games to keep you occupied for decades, perhaps even longer. But the one that's captured my heart and imagination is to be found under the popular games section, Jelly Battle. On its own, as a single-player game, this is totally addictive, but it's when you choose multiplayer and are pitted against other users of the site that it comes into its own. It's a bit like a high-tech version of Battleships crossed with Tetris. You have to hop about the playboard, picking up bonuses and weapons to use against your opponents. Last man, or rather last jelly, standing wins. And finally, how many times have you been sitting in a movie theatre watching the main attraction when that 3-litre bucket of cola you've been drinking suddenly doesn't seem like such a good idea? Is there ever a good time to run to the bathroom in the middle of a movie? Well, according to runpee.com, yes there is. This is a simple, if somewhat crazy concept, beautifully executed. With the latest releases listed on the homepage, if you're heading out to the cinema tonight, you can log on here first and check when is a good time to go. And no, I don't mean what time the movie starts. There's a helpful graphic timeline with P-spots marked and triggers supplied. There is even an explanation of what you'll be missing in the box below, although you do need to click Unscramble to read it, as there are obviously spoilers included. Print out the timeline, or if you want to get really serious about your bathroom habits and you have an iPhone, you can download the app from iTunes for 59p in the UK, Although I'm not sure that having a P calculator on your handset is the smartest thing to tell your mates about. Honestly, the internet gets more and more surreal each time I explore it. If you had to run for a pee at any point during Webscape, shame on you. Well, don't worry though, you'll find links to all the websites that we've explored on our website, and Spencer will have that address for you in just a moment.
Thank you, Kate. There you go, a whole new meaning to the term live streaming. Right, bbc.co.uk is the address you need. There you'll find the video stream of this programme and the words and the pictures to go along with the show too. Feel free to get in touch about anything, anytime. Email click@bbc.co.uk, or you can follow our rants on Twitter. Twitter.com/bbcclick is the address you need. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.